Then okay, yeah, it's now recording. Yeah.
Thank you very much, sir.
Okay.
As already, I'm Edema Moses, and for the purpose of the interview, I would just love for you to introduce yourself to the audience that will be in position to see this video.
Okay. Thank you so much, Edema. My name is Joseph Sengooba. I am the founder and principal coach at Milius Coaching. I am based in South Africa, and I have been the keynote speaker for the 10th commencement speech at Uganda Martyrs University this afternoon. I'm alumni of Uganda Martyrs University, and it's a pleasure to have been given the platform to showcase a bit of what I have done and also share my thoughts around the topic of transformational change, which I believe is a very key and relevant topic to each one of us today, especially coming out of the COVID era. So that's a little bit of brief around about myself. Yeah, thank you.
Much. Before we go very far ahead, I would love very much to congratulate you upon the award that you received from the Vice Chancellor of Uganda Martyrs University. I don't know which number done in regards to how many people have congratulated you yet, but I think I'm in the top 100. So congratulations, sir.
Thank you. I think you're probably still part of the top 5. So not very many people have congratulated me yet. So thank you very much. Yeah.
I'm very humbled.
Yeah.
So heading straight into the interview,
Yeah.
the commencement lecture, as the VC pointed out, has happened for today the 10th time. If I'm not wrong, you'll correct me.
Yeah, it is the 10th time.
So it happens for the people that are to graduate.
Yeah.
So in your own words, how does holding this very occasion help those people that are graduating? In other words, what's the essence of holding the commencement lecture for the graduate?
Well, thank you so much, Moses, for that question. I never got the opportunity to actually be at a commencement speech myself when I was graduating from Uganda Martyrs University. It was way back in the day. But I believe that at each point of life at the university for any student, there has to be some form of a marker. You know, for instance, you come into year one and then you have to go through year one programs and then you sit exams that prepare you for the following level, and then you go through that level and then you also pass that level and get into the third year or the fourth year. And just as you're about to exit, then the university prepares a small uh, time for you to reflect on where you're actually going. And one would call it sort of like an initiation in from the world of studies into the real world of work. And having experienced today's commencement speech, I think for me it came in beautifully that one has completed their studies, they have all this knowledge, but what should they expect when they actually get into the field? And having used the theme of transformation as a basis for this conversation, I think it is able to help a graduate to actually then begin to start to have that mental attitude, that mental preparation for where they're actually going to go, to realize especially that it's not just a paper that will um, get them into spaces or places or employment, but it's they are going to have to come and present their whole selves in terms of what they're actually able to do with what they have learned. And I think that for me is a key thing. In practice, has been a key theme of mine since I left university. That what do I do with the knowledge that I have, and it has been one of the driving, factors in my life, trying to do what I can do with the knowledge that I have. So I think it is quite a powerful point in time, and I'm also glad that you're able to gather some of the graduates to come through for this event. So I think that's I would look at it that way. It's quite relevant and important. It creates a marker for someone going out into the field. Yeah.
That's That's a very wonderful point of view. Very much thanks to you, sir.
You're welcome.
Still on that very point, the theme of today was agility, flexibility, and creativity towards transformational change.
Yeah.
How do you think that theme stands to help students that are going into a world, they're going into a Uganda that is at this point of time struggling with inflation? They are lacking, there are very many people that don't have jobs, people that have graduated that do not have jobs, people that are still graduating. Now, for these people, that are graduating tomorrow, where in which way does this theme speak to them louder than probably other people that have not gotten access to this very type of information?
Well, I hear what you're saying when you talk about the challenges that Uganda is facing. I think the challenges that Uganda faces is it's a macro or it's a global issue. Even here in South Africa, inflation is at its at its own levels. It's moving in its own direction. But one thing that I just want to, I would want to tell the graduates, first of all, is that they have a good opportunity. That they have a paper to begin with, and that paper signifies that they have spent time studying different aspects, subjects, areas where they could have specialized in, say, agriculture, education, or name it, whatever it is. Now, the opportunity that they have is to try and find key solutions that willing people who are able to actually then pay for these solutions can come towards them. What I got a sense of today, and which is very typical of many places, is that many graduates or universities are trying to prepare graduates for employability. And I think it's time that actually universities begin to prepare a lot more entrepreneurs than actually job seekers, because the opportunity that I said that any graduate has is to create something, and you do not need permission from anyone to be a creator, to get something going. I'll just give you a simple example. One may call it maybe a silly example. If, for instance, I have graduated today with education, and I come, say, from a community then that doesn't have a nearby school or doesn't have a near early childhood development center, I would go and try and see if I can get a space, a place, where I can bring young children in and start, giving them either daycare or early childhood development skills. And when you do that for the first five, children, it can be slow. Do that for the first five children in the 1 year. The second year you have 10. The third year, and remember the children are growing, and by that time you should already have gotten hopefully some experience, some insight on how you can make your offering, quite formal, or in a way that actually can generate even an income. Then through the years, you're going to be creating a school that can offer a nursery school, educational or early childhood skills coming into primary school. And before you know it, you can have a wonderful primary school within 7 to 8 years. The challenge is that many of us are not willing to be patient enough to actually go through this process of incubation, if I can call it that way, up until the time when you become profitable. So I think that the graduates should begin to think of what solutions can I bring to problems that I see around me. And that is where they have a great opportunity, with what we're discussing today. That's where they can actually be agile. That's where they can be flexible. That's when they can try and bring their creativity on board, because these things are not the domain or a reserve of a few. It's out there, for us and everybody who has a degree of some sort with some knowledge. What a degree basically says is that I have a degree of knowledge in a particular field or subject, but the world is saying, what can you do with the knowledge that you have?
Thank you very much, sir. That's a very powerful, very powerful point from you, and I really appreciate that you shared it not only with me, because I'm going to share this conversation with very many people and possibly the whole Homo community. So it's very good that you shared that piece of information. It was very lovely. Let's actually shift from people that we're reading tomorrow.
Yeah.
Relating to your speech today, you talked about something that really
Sorry, I'm losing you. Stay in a place where you can have your network stable.
how people should not look at failures in learn to appreciate it as part of determine what you are to become. Students that are still in Uganda Martyrs University that are hoping to, when in your whole speech, is there one particular point?
Sorry, Moses.
Is it clear?
No, sorry, I lost you. The network seems to be a little bit unstable. So if you can just repeat that question for me.
Are you getting me, sir?
Now I can hear you.
Okay.
Yeah.
I'm very sorry for the disturbance. So I was asking you in regards to your speech, is there one particular point that you spoke about that you would love to extend to the people that are yet to graduate, those that are still in the process of studying, so that by the time they reach the point of having their own commencement lecture, they at least have that imparted in their heads?
Well, the one thing that a student at a university still has is time. It's a beautiful resource to have time, because you have time to explore, you have time to think, you have time to discover, you have time to become self-aware, and I think that is something that I would seriously encourage a student at the university today to start doing, to become self-aware on a daily basis. And the simple reason is that as you become self-aware, you become conscious about your abilities, what you like to do, your interests, what you can offer, and so on, beyond what you are studying actually. And I think I gave a couple of examples. I gave this example of Angie Murunji. She, I think, studied BAM, but beyond studying BAM, she is a chef. And this is a skill that she has. And what I see more and more happening around this whole process of transformation, people are coming with their own talent to bring to the world. When I gave the example of Trevor Noah, I mean, he hasn't even been to university, but he's able to host the dinner with the American president simply because he has a skill. And he took time to develop that skill, to understand that skill. He embraced who he is and where he wants to go and how wants to develop that craft. He didn't have to go to a vice chancellor, to a professor, to a lecturer to tell him what he must do or should do. And I think it's a student at the university now has time to create and relate with themselves, develop their craft, and actually come up with something that they can do on their own, and find a way of making that passion, that skill, that talent to work for them in terms of making themselves some money. So I think that's the message that I would actually want to explore, or even speak deeper to the current students.
Thank you very much, sir. And I would not like to take up much of your time anymore, because you've spoken in volumes. The what you spoke during the commencement, like what you've spoken right now, it speaks tons not only to students, but even those that have graduated already, they can pick a leaf and try to better their lives. Very much thanks to you, sir, for agreeing to sit down for this interview with me. It's a very big honor that you took time from your busy schedule to sit down with me. I'm very much thankful to you, sir. I'm humbled. Because the knowledge you share is not something that anyone can come across just about every day. And for that, I'm very grateful, sir.
You're welcome.
And I hope with time, I can continue to ask for guidance, whereabout, and you can help me out in very many other situations.
Okay.
Thank you very much.
Yeah, that's what we do as coaches. We're there to guide our people. Yeah.
Thank you very much, sir.
Okay. All right. Thank you so much. I'll stop this recording and see if I can be able to share it with you later on.
Okay, sir. Thank you very much.
Okay. Thank you. Okay, bye.